Yo, what's up guys? I pray that you're all doing well. I'm back with another video. This time, it's a very special video because I'll be giving away some tips on how to improve your Heihachi. Now before I start talking about these tips, I want to give a big shout out to everyone that's been supporting the channel. None of the support goes unnoticed. You know, the channel's been seeing some crazy growth and I really do appreciate it. And as I've said in the past, I do have some plans going forward with my YouTube channel, like with the Heihachi guide and whatnot. So guys, please do keep supporting me. It really means a lot. You know, I stream on Twitch as well regularly where you can see some more Heihachi gameplay. I also play Feng on stream as well. You can also support me on Twitter as well, also known as X. And yeah, sometimes I post on Instagram and TikTok as well. So guys, keep supporting and I'll try my best to keep delivering high quality content. Now the first tip I want to talk about, which is probably the most important tip when playing a character like Heihachi, is stance cancelling. So what is stance cancelling? Stance cancelling is basically a method which is used to mitigate any risk. So what this means is you don't need to force yourself to use an option from a stance. Now to do this, all you have to do is when you're in stance, you quickly input down forward, as you can see in the command history on the right, and then tap back quickly. Now it does take some practice to get used to, and there's other ways you can also stance cancel, but this is the method that I use, which I find comfortable. Now when you learn and get the hang of stance cancelling, you can block both highs and mids by using the same method, literally tapping down forward when you go into stance and then tapping back to cancel. Now this creates the mind game by forcing your opponent to do lows, and of course there's also a way to counter lows which I'm going to talk about, but first I want to quickly demonstrate me blocking highs and mids by using the stance cancelling method which I like to use. Now if you have a read on your opponent doing a low when you're going into stance, what I usually do is go into stance and then tap down forward quickly just so I can block or low parry a low. Now focus on the right side of the screen where you'll see my command history on how I do that. As you can see, I can block fast lows and slow lows with this method. It does take some practice, but once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. And the second tip I want to talk about is how to realign, because I see a lot of people complain about Heihachi's tracking. Now there's three methods I'm going to talk about, which I like to use, which helps kind of fix the tracking issues. And the first method I want to talk about is wave dashing. Wave dashing is used to realign, and just so you can stay on axis with your opponent and staying close to your opponent. And this is literally done by just inputting the usual CD inputs, but just chaining them together so you can always just wave dash and stay as close as possible to your opponent at the same time staying on axis. Now I don't have the best wave dash, but I'm sure there's other tutorials you can watch to teach you how to wave dash. Now the second method which I'd like to talk about is stepping with your opponent. Now this is another method which is great for realigning with your opponent, and it's one of my favorite because it's easy to do and it's risk-free as well, you know. Stepping with your opponent can help when it comes to mind games and whatnot, because your opponent might hesitate when moving in certain situations, and even in offense they're going to be more hesitant. So let me just give you an example. If I was to do jab and the opponent starts sidewalking, which I've already programmed to do, and I do electric straight after that, it's going to whiff. But if I step after that jab and then do electric, it's going to work, as you can see. Now this method's so important because it's not that hard to do, and Tekken is a 3D game, so after all you should be utilizing the 3D movement. Now the last method I want to talk about is delaying your timing. Now timing is one of the hardest things to learn with Tekken. Even some of the more experienced players struggle with changing their timing and adapting it to the opponent. So delaying your timing is literally kind of like changing the pace you're playing at. Now this is good to try and realign because some players will just kind of autopilot their movement or autopilot their timing, like they won't change it. So you kind of need to get a read on that timing so you can start landing your moves and hitting them. So an example I'm going to give, right, is I've programmed Kazuya to do sidewalk, right. Now I'm going to do jab and he's going to start sidewalking. I'm going to input back 4 straight away, and he's going to be able to step it. But if I delay my back 4, once I see that he's walking, it's going to hit him. As you can see. Now, I don't think Heihachi's homing moves are that bad. You know, he has back 3 and upward 4. But using these 3 methods which I just spoke about on realigning are super important and will definitely help you. Now, the next tip I want to talk about is recognizing which moves go into which stance. Now, Heihachi has 2 stances in Tekken 8. He has the Wind Guard stance, which you manually enter by tapping down 1+2. And he also has the Thunder Guard stance, which you enter by tapping 4-3+4. Now, there's many moves which allow you to enter Wind Guard stance. All you have to do is tap down after the move is finished. The list of moves are 1-2-2, 1 back 2, 3-2, 4-2-2, 4-3, forward 4, while standing 4-4, and CD4 neutral 4-4. The Thunder Guard stance isn't as accessible as the Wind Guard stance, and in order to enter this stance, you need to tap forward instead of down. Now, the moves that allow you to go into Thunder Guard stance are down 1-2, sidestep 2, back 2 charge, heat smash on block, and also the throw from the Wind Guard stance, which automatically puts you in Thunder Guard stance if it lands. It's really important to recognize which move goes into stance, just so you're aware of your options. Now, me personally, I don't like using stances too much, but having the knowledge and using a certain option from a stance in a situation can help you a lot. Now, the last tip I want to talk about is remembering to always use heat. I see so many players that play Heihachi and forget to use heat. Even when I'm low on health, sometimes I just pop heat burst, just knowing I can build a stack and get closer to Warrior's Instinct. It makes me feel better than just dying without using heat, you know. Now, there's 2 main ways to build stacks, and once you get 3 stacks, you can activate Warrior's Instinct. One of the ways is landing a successful heat engager, and the other is a heat burst. Now, like I said, the way I play is I usually play aggressive with Heihachi, sometimes defensive as well, depending on the character and playstyle I'm up against. But I always remember to use heat, even when I'm at an advantage, when I'm at a disadvantage. So usually when I land a launcher, let's just say if I land an electric, I'll always use heat. And I also think it's because Heihachi is really good in heat. He does like good chip damage, he has great moves, and of course his heat smash is really good. The situation on block. So yeah, always remember to use heat. Remember not to die with heat, because it's not it's not a good feeling. And obviously when you do activate that Warrior's Instinct, it's really good because you're at an advantage with that boss mode that you have. So yeah, never forget to use heat, never forget that. But that's all from me today, guys. I hope these tips help you improve your Heihachi. As always, guys, remember to drop a like, leave a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought of this video, and let me know what type of videos you want to see from me in the future. And remember to subscribe as well, because it really supports the channel. But yeah, guys, take it easy, God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.